Hello, welcome to Three Mates and a Podcast. A podcast that involves three people, or mates if you will, who discuss things, debate about stuff sometimes, and just chat about whatever. My name is Kaz and I run that podcast as the show's host, with the other two being my friend Jake.
Hiya.
And my boyfriend Albert.
Hello there.
And, from time to time guest stars as well, such as our other friends and stuff. We don't use our voices online, apart from Jake, so all our voices are edited by me, using a text-to-speech software that is linked below alongside the other credits and junk. Now, with that out of the way, how's about we jump into the podcast?
What's that? We didn't take 5 months for the next episode to come out again?
No. We did. Time just flies fast.
Actually, we took 5 years for the next episode. Just don't look at how long ago the other episode was posted, haha.
So, are we gonna start the podcast now?
Didn't we already?
Well, you couldn't really tell with you two blokes, huh?
Right, let's start by telling people what the podcast is about today.
They can already tell by reading the title of the video, no?
Look. If you think you're so hot, why don't you start the conversation then?
I don't. You do.
What?
I don't think I'm hot. You do. But, yes. I'll start. So most people when they hear the word Webtoon probably think of either Has Been Hotel or Eddsworld first, right?
Can I just get something off my chest real quick?
Not without expensive surgery, but yeah. Go ahead, lol.
So this kind of peeves me off a tick, but some people need to realize that there is more than just one Webtoon that exists aside from Eddsworld, and more than one Webtoon is allowed to exist. I've seen a comment on one of Kaz's videos that they made which was a roommate's edit, and the comment just said, Dollar Tree Eddsworld. Like, Eddsworld was first, I get that, but more than just Eddsworld is allowed to exist. Not every Webtoon is Eddsworld. Okay, thanks. You can continue now.
Agreed.
So yes, Eddsworld and Has Been Hotel are probably the first to come to mind for most, but personally a favorite of mine is, as mentioned by our good pal Jake, roommates. I also quite enjoyed No Signal before it ended abruptly after 7 episodes.
Why did they do that anyways? Like, after only 7 episodes.
More importantly, can I see more of Girl Beavis and Cameron?
Forget Girl Beavis and Cameron, I want just straight up Beavis and Cameron lol.
I'm right here, you know.
I'd make a joke about something, but I wanna keep this podcast SFW.
So, Albert, got anything else to add, or should we move on to Jake?
One thing actually. People should watch more Webtoons. Like, sure, it may not have the best animating to it, but I've seen some that genuinely have the best voice acting and not so good animation to it and I still watch them. Like, think about Eddsworld. It had amazing animation back then, but think of how far the animation and style has come. I'm sure if you watch one of those series long enough like you did with Eddsworld, you'll see it start to get better and even get to say that you were a part of that fandom before it got to where it is now.
Beautiful. I wanna cry.
Agreed. In fact, I didn't even know about roommates or FlowJoe until Jake showed me the channel a few years back. Now, I try to never miss a live stream, and get excited when I see my art on Fan Art Corner. Nearly fainted the first time I saw it too. And like, what other animated series goes live, showing themselves working on their animations, while talking with the chat, and showcasing the wonderful fan art?
Is it my turn to go now? Because I kind of want to just info dump a few series real quick that I think more people need to watch.
Go ahead, mate.
Okay, so I'll just start by naming a series I quite like, then I'll do a small info dump on why I like the series.
POV non-binary dude talks about their special interests lol.
Technically true, because one of my special interests is Webtoons. So, there is a series called FilmBudds. Basically the first episode was about a blue moon curse, and after that, every episode has one of the characters Dwarf D, which is a killer name by the way, slowly becoming more and more infected by the curse. They go on wacky adventures and junk, and it's not just FilmBudds I like. Noelle has another series called Astro Cat, which is about cats with space suits and junk, and one of the characters is voiced by Joseph, who created Roommates and stuff.
I can tell that you're just over there doing your little flappy arms thing.
I tend to violently shake my hands when I get too excited for those confused.
Right. We'll circle back to you, but I want to talk about one real quick.
Okay.
So a series that I quite like is Oddball Adventures. It follows Caleb, Dave, and a few others who live in Georgetown, with George as the mayor. They get up to all kinds of wacky fun, and even joined the bear mafia once.
Not gonna lie. When I was first watching the series, I thought that Caleb was autistic. Because the way he acts, man. And he wore a Pac-Man shirt with a red tie. I thought that Pac-Man was a special interest or some. And the others refer to him as Buddy from time to time too, like.
I never thought of that before, but pointing it out, I can see it. Anyways. Jake. You have another one to share.
This one is so underrated, dude. This series created by Boris199 barely gets 10 likes each episode, and the style of the series is so cool. And, not to mention, the storyline always has me impatient for the next episode. It's called the Unfazed Saga, and I started watching the channel when Worse Than One was still a thing. I genuinely think that more people need to check out the channel.
We need to make our own webtoon.
So, just frick the stupid adventures of Dan and Jason then?
No, I mean like a webtoon that all three of us come up with together.
Okay, but who would animate that?
Well, me being the only animator here. Not it.
We could make it in the style of Bonus Stage, because even though old, it's still one of my absolute favorites to this day.
Like, the animation style, or the story-wise style?
Both?
Okay, but then we would just be ripping off Bonus Stage of the point if it was style, and story.
Okay, you come up with something better then.
Well, you know how Roommates is like 4 roommates living together, and how Eddsworld was like 4 roommates living together. So maybe, like a roommate type of deal. But with our own 4 original characters and stuff.
So, kind of like what my series is doing, but I only have 3 characters instead of 4.
Well, what if we had 4 characters that were roommates? But they didn't start out as roommates, and the first episode is them all meeting to become roommates.
So, we just ripping off the Roommates pilot episode then?
Darn it. Every idea is already taken as a web series. How did Joseph or Noel even come up with their ideas like that? And Joseph has more than one series too. Bro.
What if one of the roommates is a ghost, but only the other 3 roommates can see the ghost, and it's all like, whenever they're out in public people just think they're talking to nobody, so whenever they talk in public to the ghost one, they got to make it look like they're just talking to one of the 3 that are alive.
Yo. I actually like the ghost idea. We should copy that one episode of FlowJoe's podcast where they spent a good 10 minutes creating a fake show pitch, but we create a webtoon and try to actually do something with it afterwards.
Can the ghost's name be Edward so we can make a running gag based on that one scene from Eddsworld that's just the ghost saying Edward in a ghostly tone?
Nah, too cheesy.
Most webtoons have their characters named after the voice actors, right? Like, Ed who played Ed, Joseph who plays Joseph, and Noel who plays Noel. So what if we named the characters after us and one other friend?
But we're not voice acting the characters, so what's the point?
Okay, so far, all we got is 4 roommates living together. One of them is a ghost that only the other 3 can see, and we don't even have character names, let alone what a webtoon is even going to be called.
We can't just name our series yet if we don't have character names or proper plot point aside the ghost thing. So let's save the webtoon's name for last. Now who else has ideas?
I really want one of the characters to have a similar hairstyle to Subwalker's because I like his character's hair design, but I don't want it to be too similar to where it's a rip-off or copycat, you know. I also kind of want to have one of the characters be a goblin, but it wouldn't really make sense or fit.
Oh my god. Wait. What if one of the characters just looked like a goblin? What if the character was in a Dungeons and Dragons type cosplay or something? And what if we gave him a little wizard hat too?
That actually doesn't sound half bad, mate.
Okay, so which one is going to be the goblin? And do we ever mention why or how the 4th roommate died to become a ghost, or do we just leave it as, he's a ghost and never bring it up?
What if they don't find out the fourth roommate is dead until the end of episode 1 when someone in public finally asks who the three are talking to, and have it as a joke where the last lines of the episode is just the ghost character saying, "Oh yay, by the way guys, I died," followed by the other three saying, "Wait, what?" and leave it as a cliffhanger for next episode?
We're getting somewhere. I can feel it.
Okay, now we just need character names, the rough character designs of the other three roommates, and then all that's left is a name, and then the rest of the episodes are made from there.
I have a suggestion. What if two of the characters had the same outfit as each other but swapped color palette? Like, what if one character had, for example, a red t-shirt over top a blue hoodie, while the other had a blue t-shirt over top a red hood?
Then they would just be two versions of the same character and wouldn't really stand out or have their own personalities.
Right.
I say the one wearing the red hoodie should have glasses, and the one wearing the blue hoodie should have a missing tooth, sort of like Dan from Roommates.
Can one of the characters be named Nathan? Because Nathan is actually a pretty common name and Roommates doesn't own the rights to it, so we could just call a character Nathan if we wanted to.
It only took us forever, but we finally have one of the characters' names. You came up with the name, so which character should be named Nathan then?
The red hoodie one, and can we make one of the characters be based off of my personality?
Like, the special interests thing, or...
I'm more than just someone with special interests, you know.
So we gonna make a character that hates to touch certain textures, has an eating disorder, wears nearly the same hoodie every day because it's a favorite, and get upset when it has to be taken off to get washed, can't drive, is obsessed with Webtoons and will info dump to you for an hour straight if given a chance, has a hyperfixation on rattles and kitty toys that make noise, and the list goes on?
You didn't have to just info dump my whole personality, but something like that. I feel like more series could use people like me in them.
I have an idea that we all might like. So obviously, Jake is the only one here who can animate, yes. And I can tell you right now, he doesn't want to do that, let alone his own series, yes. And then we'd have to still work out the voice acting thing, yes. So what if we just made our series a book? Or like, series of books? And we can draw art every now and again for certain scenes and junk and post it to Wattpad. We're all artists here, so we can even take turns drawing and stuff, so we all contribute to it.
Agreed. But we still need the character design for the last character and the other three's names.
So quick recap so far. 4 roommates living together. One of them is a ghost that only the other 3 roommates can see. One of the characters is named Nathan, who wears a red t-shirt over a blue hoodie with glasses. One of the characters wears a blue t-shirt over a red hoodie and has a missing tooth like Dan's design from Roommates. One of the characters is wearing a D&D style goblin cosplay with a wizard hat. And we still need to figure out the design for the ghost character and the other 3's names.
How about we name the one character Jake, since he's based off of him in a ways?
Yes.
Agreed.
What if the ghost character has an all-blue color palette and we lower it down to 50% visibility so he looks transparent like a ghost? And what if he was wearing just a tee and baseball cap?
So, don't we usually end the podcast episode by now?
Well, if we could come up with ideas faster.
Why not leave it here and let the comments help come up with ideas for whatever we didn't come up with yet? Or maybe make a part 2 of some kind that's just specifically us coming up with the webtoon? Because, wasn't this episode originally about other webtoons and not just us coming up with one?
I thought it was about webtoons in general.
Well, either way, you were right. I think it's time we end the episode here. This has been going on a while.
Well, alright. See you then.
Take care, guys.